welcome to another video in a series, Upholstery for Fun and Profit. Now what we're going to do today is this little chair here. Now we're not going to recover it in this one, but as you know, sometimes the webbing in chairs get bad and it gets too saggy in the seat. So what we're doing is this job here for a lady. We're going to redo the seat. So I'll show you how to do your webbing, and so that if you've got dining room chairs yourself at home which are a little bit saggy, you can fix them yourself. Alright, so first thing, we've got to get the cover off. Now, you can't just tear this cover off because we're actually going to put it back on. So what we want to do is get rid of this, first of all, and then we can have a look at the staples. These are just stapled on. And so we can get to the real staples. Now, we won't be putting these back on, okay? We'll be doing it slightly different. Alright, so now we've got to undo all these staples around the whole three sides. Don't worry about the back here, because it's not, in this particular chair, it's not attached to the seat. Okay, so now we've got it all undone. Make sure you get all these, any loose staples like this, make sure you get them out, because they could be rather nasty on your hands. Alright, so I'll move the chair around so you can see. Now in here, this has been folded under, so you'll find there's a big piece of material in here, so you've got to get it and pull it out. Now, it'll be glued to the foam, unfortunately, so just try and break it off the foam as gently as you can. What you want to do now is just roll this material the best you can up like that. Very, very, very carefully when we get to the foam. Alright, so now we've got the cover off. Now, because webbing goes on first, we have to actually get the foam off to get to the webbing. Now what you'll find is this will be all glued along here. So this is the most difficult part. You've got to try and get the foam to come off like so without tearing the foam is the best you can, but you will tear the foam because sometimes there's more glue like here, and this is very, very thin foam, so it is going to tear on you. So just do your best to undo it. So you'll find it will be glued this way as well, so you just got to run your fingers along here like that. This foam will be fairly well, as you can see, squashed, so it's not much good. So what you want to do is, when we put the new webbing on here, is to actually put a new piece of foam like this in the chair. Fabric and everything out of the way, so you want to just grab your little skewer and put your skewer through the foam, through the edge of the fabric. Now you've got to be careful, you can't pin it to here or here, because you might damage this. What you want to do is pin it between the piping. Alright, so this is all glued along the bottom, and we want to actually get to the back. So you've got to get in here and also break the glue line. Like so. These webs, don't take them off, leave them there. They'll act as a little bit more support once you put the new webs in. But this stuff here is very thin, it's crappy webbing. So what we're going to do is use the really good stuff. So I have down here someplace. This is a lot heavier than this. This is proper seat foam, seat webbing rather. Alright, so now what we're going to do is staple him along the back. Alright, so now we get a web. Now we want to put a web down the middle, and we want to put one here and one there. So we want 3 webs this way, minimum, and leave these ones. But this foam is in the way, so you've got to get this, make sure you've got at least that much of the web pushed over the top of the wood at the back here. So push it in as hard as you can. You may not be able to see it, it's fairly dark. And get your staple gun, push the foam out of the way, and we'll staple along. Now make sure you get it back from the edge of the timber. It's got to be right back so the staples don't tear out. Straight. Now you want this really, really tight. Just so like playing a guitar. That tight. Alright, a layer of staples there, a layer there. And then we'll just snip him off like so. Alright, so let's get the other one. Now you want him to put him about 50 mil or 2 inches away from that one. You want him to be in the middle of the chair, not out here, because nobody sits there. Okay, they sit in the middle of the chair. That's where you want the support. There we go. Okay, so now let's put a couple of webs this way. Now interlace the webbing, which means we've gone over the top of this one, under this one, okay? And we'll staple them along here. Give it a good strain, make sure it's really tight. And we'll do it again. Right, so there we've got all the webbing on there and it's nice and tight. Alright, so the webbing's done. Now we'll get the foam. It's a good piece of solid foam here. Now just lay him in there and push it right towards the back and underneath the other foam so that it sits there like so. Alright, so now we're just going to put this foam back on. So we'll pull these skewers out and the foam comes down. Just leave the cover there. Now what we'll do is just pull the foam down. No, we won't glue it, we'll just staple it like so. Now just bring the foam down so it meets the other foam where we had to cut, and put a couple of staples in. Same with this one. Just bring it down, put a staple in there. You don't need a real lot of staples, just a few to hold it. This is only a quick repair. There's not much we can do about this foam. You could always get a new piece of foam and put it around there if it's your own job, but that foam, as I said before, it doesn't really mean much. It's just a little bit of padding on the side. It's not for the structure of the chair. Alright, so now we've got that on there, so that's a really nice seat now. Get your cover. Now this is what, make sure that the cover is not tucked in all along the back there. If there's any loose staples, get them out. Now make sure that the foam sits underneath, and then position it on the chair and bring it to the corner. Make sure your corner just goes over like so. Okay, now don't have to staple it or anything because we're going to get this corner on. Just give it a bit of a strain like that. Now be very careful when you put the next one on, because you don't, as I said, don't pull it so you rip the fabric. The fabric has got to come on undamaged. If you rip it up there, you've ruined the chair. Okay, now the cover's on basically. Give it a little bit of a rub to the front so corners are right, everything's fine there. Okay, so what you want to do now is just pull the cover back on. Now you've got the old marks there, but they probably won't be much good for you. So what you want to do is try and keep it straight along here. So just pull it down until it looks about the same height as here, same height as there. You can measure it if you wish, but I tend not to worry about it. Okay, then we just do here. Then we just do there. Finish the front off again. Just make sure you're all tucked in, nice and neat. Right, basically your cover's back on. So we'll put the bottom on now. Okay, so we've got the chair upside down. Now we can just tidy him up a little bit now. Like so. Just get a bit of your fabric like this. You could use calico or anything. This stuff's called spun bond, if you want to know what its name is. Alright, so what we do is then just staple on the front, hold him under, bring him to the back. Now we're going to staple to here. Both sides are finished now, so there we go. We'll staple him there because he's up a little bit. There we go. Give it a bit of a brush off. And the chair's finished. It's the end of another video, and thanks for watching.